Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because perfect. All right. Wonderful. So I'm so happy to be here today to talk about this topic. I'm Kate Simpson. If you were just in Jody's session, wow, that was incredible. um, I have personally worked with Jody, and I can tell you the information she shares is so impactful. So if you just implement like one little piece about the things she talked about, you have incredible results. So go and check out the replay if you were not there live. That was really, really special. I'm going to talk about more solution oriented type things. I'm going to take um, and talk really from the perspective of energy healing as we talk about cortisol levels. I'm excited to share a little bit about my story and my journey. And as you're here and joining in, you're welcome to participate here in the chat. Okay, Jody's here. Yay. Jody, awesome job, truly. and yeah, so you're welcome to participate here in the chat. You're welcome to come up on screen if you like, whatever works. But we're going to dive in and talk about energy healing a bit. And let me share my screen here really quick. Okay, so this is me. If we have not met, I'm Kate Simpson. I'm an energy healing practitioner. I work with people and with pets. Today we will be talking about cortisol with people, but I work as a master practitioner for the Global Energy Method. I'm certified in the Emotion Code and Body Code, and I work with Skolex, which is a company that provides frequency support through the AO scan technology. So I really combine all of my energy healing training and modalities together when working with clients. You're welcome to connect with me. This is my socials on Instagram and Facebook, and my website you can get a free guide on how to actually prevent trapping emotions, which we'll talk a little bit about here in this workshop. And there are many, many ways to work with me. And I always encourage people, just book a free discovery call with me, and we can kind of just talk about your situation and what's going on with you in order to get you to your optimal wellness. So I'm really excited to talk about this topic because for me personally, I had an experience where, back in 2013, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune thyroid disorder. And when working with a naturopathic doctor, one of the things he discovered was that my cortisol levels were completely out of whack. My adrenal system was highly stressed. And that this is one of the factors that ultimately triggered that end result with that thyroid disorder. And so my system was incredibly amped up. I was kind of the opposite of feeling like low and slow. I was completely amped up in a really unhealthy way. So I experienced incredible amounts of anxiety, this incredibly hyper energy. I had a lot of shakiness in my hands, heart palpitations. My mind raced, and sleep became a big issue. And a lot of us hear so much about how sleep is where our body rests and our body can restore and heal itself. And that was not happening for me because I had insane amounts of insomnia, and did not, I would sleep maybe 2 hours a night. And the crazy thing is I wasn't tired the next day because my system was so out of whack. I was just nonstop. And at the point in time where I was like, okay, I have to do something to calm my system down. So really understanding a lot of the symptoms and effects of cortisol and how it affected my body really helped me understand that I could take control and that I just had to notice when I was in this extremely hyper state and implement some of these things to just bring my system back down. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And let's talk a little bit about stress, because again, stress is very often connected with cortisol. Cortisol is one of the hormones of stress. And so again, stress is not always a bad thing. Stress is actually a natural and it's a physiological response in your body. Stress is a very natural and adaptive response that your body and your mind experience. And this is really when you perceive that there's a threat, a demand, or some type of challenge. So it's important to realize that stress is not only physiological, but it's also a psychological reaction. And it's really a reaction that requires you personally to adjust or respond in some way. And so a lot of people don't talk about this, but stress can be triggered by both positive and negative events. So, you think about a lot of times when you hear people talk about stress, you hear about this reaction, the fight or flight reaction. And this is a very real thing. It is a necessary reaction in your body. It's very, very important. So if you're in a situation where you need to react immediately, your body can go into this fight, flight, or freeze reaction. Generations ago, we were fighting for our lives and we maybe had to be aware of our environment all the time. And so maybe we need to run from a tiger or something like that. That's not the case in our modern world, of course, but there's times where you could be driving in a car and all of a sudden somebody in a car ahead of you is distracted or something and they slam on your brakes and you need to react quickly. Or you can actually, sometimes people see, car accidents happen in front of you. Somebody runs out in front of the street. So cars are a great example of something that can trigger you into this fight or flight reaction because you need to go into this state of reaction mode. Okay, but things like negative relationships can put you in a state of stress, work, financial challenges, all kinds of things can put you in a state of stress. And a lot of those negative ones make sense to us. But there's also positive things that can put us in a state of stress. For instance, I don't know how many of you have ever planned a birthday party for a small child or planned a wedding, right? These can be highly stressful events. They're happy events, they're positive events, but they can create a lot of stress. When you're in business, you can be in a stressful situation if you need to get ready for an important meeting that you would have, or a sales call, or maybe just I don't know, certain conversations with your partner in life. It might be a very positive thing, but you might have this stress reaction going into how to communicate properly. So there's a lot of things that can create stress. And what stressful events do is they cause this physiological and emotional response in the body. From the physical side, and Jody in the previous workshop gave some great images and examples of this, but your digestion tends to slow down. Your energy needs increase. You have a strain on your nervous system that begins when you have a stressful event. Emotions get triggered and your stress hormones are activated. Cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, these get activated. And it's a very healthy response in a lot of cases. The problem becomes when you stay in a prolonged state or a prolonged stressful response. So when you have this emotional response that's prolonged over time, it actually becomes essentially a trauma energy. And when you do not properly process your emotional experience in the moment, your body and your mind can remain in a state of hyper arousal or hyper alertness. So we have to understand that emotions are a normal and healthy human response. They are meant to be felt. We give them meaning, whether they're positive or negative. Fear is a very, beneficial response in some cases. Stress is beneficial. Nervousness, all these things can be beneficial. They give us information, but we need to properly process them. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. But what happens is if you're not moving this emotional energy through and out of your body, your brain starts to actually preemptively expect the next stressful event and the next stressful event and the next stressful event. And so when you don't properly process your emotions, you create this chronic stress response in the body. So I love to show the normal, healthy emotional response. It's kind of like a wave. Okay. So when you have this thought or you witness something, you perceive something, you experience something, you have a belief system, a thought pattern. And what happens is you then think that thought, you experience that situation, you witness something, you see something, you hear something, and a chemical reaction happens in your brain. And then your organs and glands produce what we call an emotion. And an emotion is simply energy in motion. It's a vibration of energy. And it's meant to be felt and then move along. So it's like this constant wave of emotions, right? So you feel all kinds of things all the time, but they're meant to be felt and then move along. So that's normal and healthy and natural. And I promise that every single one of you does that successfully every single day. However, there are many, many times where that stress happens, that emotion happens. We produce that energy, we feel it. And instead of allowing that to move, we suppress that energy. And when we suppress that emotional energy, that's a vibration that stays stuck or stagnant, trapped in the body. And then that also starts to disrupt your tissues, your muscles, your organs, all of these things. And it not only creates this, we have these mental stress, these emotional stresses. You have a physical stress going on in your body with a vibration of energy that doesn't belong in that area of the body. So, yeah, Jody, yeah, it's meant to be experienced and released, not held. A lot of times people think like when life is happening and it's like, okay, I'm not dealing with that right now, right? It's a very common response. And you feel a negative emotion and you you don't want to deal with it. That's when this suppression happens. We think that we've kind of shoved it away, but in reality, we've held on to it. And by holding on to it, we continue to experience that energy over and over and over again. So, expressing our emotions is very, very normal and healthy. Now, as an emotion code practitioner, and I start working with clients, and I'll release a lot of these emotional energies, and they feel like this big weight is lifted off their body, because we've released all this emotion. And then, a few days later, they'll feel an emotion, right? It is normal and healthy to continue to feel. And so it's a constant reminder that when you feel an emotion, it's simply information. And so it's meant to be felt and move along. So when you feel something, this is a energy healing hack tip, big thing. Pay attention, this little tip, right? When you feel an emotion that you don't like, right? You've decided doesn't feel good. Simply identify it, simply give it a name, whatever that name is, and do that without any judgment around it. It might be perfectly justifiable for you to feel angry or sad or insecure or whatever it is, but identify what you feel by name with no judgment. And then just take a nice deep breath and then tell yourself, okay, I feel this and I choose to release this now. And by that intention, your words, your thoughts, those actions, that intention statement is going to move that energy through and out of your body. Okay, you might feel it for a few more seconds or maybe even a minute, but that energy will move along and you're not going to suppress that energy. So it's a very, very powerful prevention thing to do here, is to allow energy to move. So when you have a lot of these suppressed emotions, though, it's really crucial to maybe work with somebody to help you release them, because again, a lot of these emotions can lead to a more chronic state of stress. And ultimately, that chronic state of stress can, contribute to potential diseases in the body. All right, so let's see. When we have this prolonged, or what a lot of people refer to as chronic stress, right? What happens is your sympathetic nervous system becomes active. You are in this state of fight, flight, or freeze, and your cortisol levels stay elevated. And this was the situation for me. I was in a chronic state of fight or flight, and I didn't realize it. I didn't understand that that's what was happening in my body. And when my body started reacting, I didn't really understand. And my beliefs about who I was or how I was supposed to show up in the world and how I was supposed to work overrid the fact that my body was giving me symptoms. So I ignored the symptoms. I believed I had to keep working hard. I had to prove something. I had to accomplish certain things. And so I was in a very unhealthy state of burnout with my job. And I had very, very unhealthy business relationships. And so there was relationship stress, there was emotional stress, there was physical stress from the work I was doing. And my body was giving me these signals that we are in this state of fight or flight, but I ignored them and didn't understand that. So it's important to pay attention to your body. Your body's symptoms are a way to communicate with you. So when you're in this fight or flight response, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, your breathing can become rapid, bodily functions can be inhibited. And the reason for that is if you need to fight or flee or freeze and hide or whatever it is, you need certain parts of your body to become more active and other parts of your body to shut down. And so it's an intelligent response for short-term stresses, not chronic stresses. So my heart rate was constantly elevated. My blood pressure was high. I was constantly going into times where, I was in an anxiety state. My hands started shaking. Again, I didn't sleep. I was constantly awake and aware that, maybe there was danger or something was happening. My body was just giving me all these signals. Now, other things that can happen physically when you're in this fight, flight, or freeze is that other bodily functions shut down. So, like your gallbladder, your bladder, your rectum, sexual function, your vision can change, and your digestion absolutely slows down. Now, again, if you stay in that state, this again can lead to dysfunction in your body. Ultimately, another thing that was discovered with me is that my digestive system was impacted because of this chronic state of stress that I was under. And so I ultimately had leaky gut, and I had to repair my gut health as part of that healing process. So if you're constantly perceiving stress, you're not addressing the emotional responses, your sympathetic nervous system is active, these can lead to heart disease, cancer, stroke, mental illness, chronic anxiety or depression-like symptoms. This is why they say that stress is the number one killer. So it's an important thing to recognize. So what I started to do was work with, like I said, a naturopathic doctor. I worked with the medical system. I am not opposed to the medical system. The medical system supported and saved my life, but they also did not understand the root cause. And that's where having a team of people supporting you can be hugely impactful for healing and recovery. And so, working with a naturopathic doctor, I was able to get to the root causes, understand that I was in this fight or flight response, and now I had the power to correct it and do something about it. And so, although it was a very rough time for me, it's a very inspiring when I was able to understand the root cause, because then I could find solutions. And that's what I want to share a little bit about with you, is just things you can actively do when you're in this type of situation. Now, again, your symptoms might be completely different from mine, but when cortisol is out of whack, it's very typical that you could have some of these symptoms that I've had. And so I'm going to kind of guide you through a couple of things here. First of all, I want to talk about, with emotional work that I do, you'll meet there's a lot of amazing practitioners that do emotion code. It's a powerful modality. It's a modality that is the first thing that I learned as an energy healer, but I didn't learn it to become an energy healer. I learned the emotion code. It's by Dr. Bradley Nelson. There's an incredible book. And I learned to do this by reading a book. So I encourage you to read that book if this interests you. But emotion code for me was a self-care practice. It was a way for me to focus on releasing these suppressed emotions that I had suppressed for many years and give myself a little self-care. So it's a very powerful practice of identifying and releasing emotional energy. However, yes, that's beneficial, but what's even more critical is positive repatterning and kind of filling in the gap. So, not just releasing energy, but adding in positive emotional energy in its place. When you are focused in on positive emotions, it actually can help to trigger the sympathetic nervous system, which can take us out of fight or flight and into the rest, digest, healing, and recovery state. So, adding in positive emotions really can fill the gap. So, if you're doing a lot of types of things to release and to let go of things, continue that, but take time to do things that will help nourish the body and help put positive energy back in. And so I want to share a little bit about positive repatterning. And positive repatterning, there's a few ways to do this. I work as a global energy method practitioner as well. And this is a big focus when working with people who are struggling with imbalanced cortisol, activated sympathetic nervous systems, stuck in a fight or flight response. A number of positive repatterning energy is what's beneficial. And so there's a few different types I want to share. The first is again, focusing in on those positive emotions. Just thinking about positive emotions, thinking about things that maybe brought you joy, having a visual image or a memory of something funny from when you were maybe years ago, maybe it was recent, but thinking about laughter, thinking about gratitude, thinking about joy, thinking about peace or calm, and taking notice of that is a way to help repattern your body and your mind, is just focusing on even the word. Okay, just focus on the word joy, peace, calm, these kinds of things is a way to help repattern your energy. And I want to share with you that although I have the title that I work as an energy healing practitioner, you are a human being and you are a being of energy and you live in an energy world. And so you can be your own energy healer as well. Lots of times you can get support from someone like me, and we can guide you into different practices to help you, but know that you can heal your own body by using some of these techniques to help you get started. So, all right. So as we dive into positive repatterning, okay, the first type of positive repatterning, and let me go here. Mm-hmm. Let me get to the right spot here. Okay. So don't just release, repattern. Okay. So we have positive affirmation energy. And understand that we are always, always affirming things to ourselves. This essentially is a form of self-talk. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always paying attention, and its favorite sound is the sound of your own voice. And so, what happens is throughout our lives, we are always affirming things in the positive and in the negative. And over time, a lot of our self-talk becomes negative and it becomes habitual, and we don't even realize what's going on. We have somewhere, I've heard, anywhere from 70 to 90,000 thoughts every single day, and a lot of these are negative and a lot of these are repetitive, and that essentially is negative self-talk. It's a negative affirmation. And so we need to counteract that because, again, a lot of times it's going on in the background and you don't even realize it. So counteracting that is by giving positive affirmation and positive instructions to the subconscious mind. So it's speaking things in the positive, affirming them about yourself with your own voice. And it is supercharged when you say it out loud. You don't always have to say affirmations out loud. A lot of your self-talk does go on in your own mind. But when you affirm it in your own voice out loud, you're engaging your vocal cords, you're engaging your physical body, and you're saying it audibly, and your subconscious loves the sound of your voice. So affirming things in the positive, okay? This can challenge and overcome self-sabotage, negative thoughts. And when you repeat these over and over and over again, it really does shift your energy for the long term. Okay, the next type of positive repatterning energy is a reinforcement energy. And this is really just understanding that you have strength within. You have love and peace and joy and strength, and you have everything you need within you. Sometimes you just need to strengthen it and you need to reinforce it. And so, if you're not feeling like you have any self confidence, it's there inside. So, that's just what we need to strengthen and reinforce. So, you might feel you need to reinforce your body's healing ability. You might need to reinforce maybe just things like self esteem. You might need to reinforce the feeling of safety. Okay. If you're not feeling safe, if you're in this fight or flight reaction, then we need to reinforce safety. And when we reinforce something like safety, that again is going to take us from this sympathetic reaction in your nervous system to a parasympathetic. So we're going to go from fight or flight to healing and recovery, resting and digesting. So that's another form of repatterning, is a reinforcement energy. And the third one is an encouragement energy. And this is really a proclamation, a statement that can be sent to you. It's an energy that, as opposed to strengthening internally, it tends to empower the energy field around you. And it can create a positive attraction energy for what you want. It can kind of activate your aura. It can really just help you see and feel and hear more of the positive when you have this encouragement energy. How many of us have ever had somebody in our life that just said the right word to encourage us, and it just shifted everything that we did? Has that ever happened to anybody? I know it has for me, and it's almost paying attention to those words. Words have so much power. So paying attention to those types of things. But you can work with a practitioner to do these repatterning exercises. And then there's some ways that you can do it for yourself. But these are the types of repatterning. And so we're going to go into some exercises. And what I'd love for you to do, let me make this a little bit smaller. Hopefully everybody can see this okay. I would love for you to take a screenshot of this. This is a lot of words, okay? Take a screenshot of this and know that these things can all help guide you out of that sympathetic nervous system into a parasympathetic nervous system reaction. And that's where healing and recovery takes place. And I'm going to kind of walk you through all of these, but I want you to take a screenshot so you don't have to memorize these. And for me personally, when I was in that very stressful place in my life, it was for me difficult to just say, oh, I should just stop and meditate, or I should just stop and focus on positive affirmations. When I was in that spin, and I was almost, sometimes I would be in a panic state. Sometimes my hands would be shaking. Sometimes my heart would be pounding. Sometimes I just was at work and something happened, the most minor thing, and suddenly I would almost go into a fit of rage. I would have to like leave and go to my car and just scream. It's just not really my personality, but I was in this really extreme state. So it was hard for me to access these things or remember, okay, I can calm myself. And so I encourage you to have this on hand if you're someone who deals with this or you know somebody who is, because it's a way to easily access supporting and helping yourself. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is called the fear tap. Okay, and the fear tap is simply, if you take your hand, there's numerous acupuncture meridians. So again, I'm going to teach you to be your own energy healer. Okay, you're an energy being. You can do this for yourself. You have acupuncture meridians that run all over your body. And one of them is called the triple warmer. And it goes through various parts of your body. It goes with your eyes, over your ears, all over. But it also comes down into your hand. And right in your hand, okay, between your pinky finger and your ring finger, if you go right in between that area and then halfway between your wrist and where your fingers start. So kind of in the middle of your hand. And if you just tap there, you can now communicate to your body through a simple pulsation or tapping. And this is going to tell your triple warmer or acupuncture meridian that to calm down and to let go of fear. That it's okay that you felt fear, and now you can slow down and stop this fear reaction, just simply tapping. Now you can do that this way, you can do it this way. I'm trying to demonstrate it, so I'm up here. But you can also just put your hand on your heart and find that tapping point and just tap there. Okay? And just do that for a little while and just breathe. This will remind you to breathe. This is really going to help calm that fight, flight, or freeze response. Okay? So that's called the fear tap. Okay? The next thing I want to show you, and I want this to be an active workshop, so do this with me, okay? If you're watching the recording, take a moment, even if you're not in a state of fight or flight right now, just practice these. Do them with me, okay? So there's that fear tap, okay? The next one that you can do, and again, these are so simple, but having this screenshot is just a way to come back to it and remind yourself that you have these tools, okay? So the next one is to hold your neurovascular points. This is in your forehead here. So when you jump into that fight or flight response, blood leaves your forebrain and it goes to your heart to start pumping, and it needs to send blood to your arms and legs in case you need to run or you need to fight. And so sometimes we can't think clearly because blood has left our forebrain. We can react, but we can't necessarily think clearly. And so a way to help restore blood back into that forebrain and to tell our system that it's okay that we had this reaction, but now it's okay to come back to homeostasis, it's okay to come back to balance, is to hold these neurovascular points. And the easiest way to do this is to simply put one of your hands on your forehead. Okay, so now we're doing energy healing right here. And it's so simple that you can just guide your body back into balance. And so you don't want to do this for like 5 seconds. Hold it there for a few minutes, okay? The other way that you can do this, it's a personal preference, okay, is you can just take the tips of your fingers and put them there, and then put your thumb on your temple. And you can hold your points, neurovascular points that way. Okay, so just your thumbs on your temple and your hands on your forehead. I prefer this one mainly because I have glasses. So it's just, that's a personal choice. Do what works for you. Okay, the other thing you can do is then hold the back of your head. Okay, and this again is also creating that support and just telling your fight or flight system to calm, come back to homeostasis. And again, you want to do this for a few minutes. This is more like a 3 to 5 minute fix versus a 10-second fix. Okay. So pretty simple so far. I want to give you simple things that you can do if you're in a place where you just need to help yourself. And then you'll be able to think and think clearly, and what's the next step? Who can help me? Who's the right, do I need a practitioner right now? Do I need to leave this conversation? Do I need to, go out in nature? Do I need to you can think clearly about what you can do. What's your next step? Do I need to make a phone call and have a conversation? Do I need to avoid a conversation? Do I need to take a break from whatever I'm doing? That type of thing. So, okay, the other thing that's super powerful is listening to sound healing music. Okay, how many of us have ever just had music move us emotionally? Okay, put yes in the chat if ever if you have a song that puts you into state of joy every time you hear it. If you have a song that puts you in a state of joy every time you hear it, have that song easily available, right? But all sound vibrates at different frequencies, has different hertz. Music has this ability to move us into a positive or negative state. The movie industry has figured this one out. If you notice, the soundtrack really affects our emotions as we watch a movie, whether we're laughing, whether we're crying, whether we're terrified. The soundtrack plays a key role in how you react emotionally. And so having sound healing frequencies is incredibly beneficial. Now, one great way to do this that I found is I love tools. I love tools that can support my healing. So I work with a software. It's called the AO Scan technology. And there's one of the features of this technology is called Inner Voice. And it helps you process your emotional state. We talked about how important it is to let emotions just move, right? And so if something is going on, and you can do this type of scan every single day if you choose to. I personally do. I listen to sound healing music every single day. And I do personalized music for me with this inner voice scan. Now, you can do this once a week. You can do this once a month, whatever works for you. But with this particular unique tool, you actually record the sound of your voice, and the software analyzes your voice across thousands of frequencies, and it finds the top 4 frequencies that are out of range. And within that out of range, you're expressing different emotions that you may or may not even be aware of. And so what it creates is harmonizing sound frequencies. These are frequencies that are set to music. And all you do is put some headphones on and you listen to this music, and under the music are these vibrations of sound frequencies. And it brings what's in excess down to a healthy level. And anything that's suppressed, it brings it back up to a healthy level. And you suddenly feel more relaxed. You sometimes will feel more energized. You'll feel the ability to focus. It sparks creativity. So listening to music and sound therapy music can have a high impact on supporting you and shifting you from this fight or flight reaction into this rest, calm, healing, recovery state. So that subscription, the AO Scan subscription with Inner Voice, you can learn about that through me. It's something I subscribe to and I use with all of my clients. There's also information on it in the expo area. So you can look at it in either way. If you want to experience a free scan with me and test it out for yourself, then you can reach out to me at the end of this workshop, and I'm happy to give you a free scan to kind of show you what the Inner Voice is all about. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is positive repatterning. Again, and we talked a little bit about that earlier, what positive repatterning were, these affirmation energies, these reinforcements, these encouragements. But a quick way you can access this is to focus on a positive emotion and just focus on a word. Focus on the word peace. Focus on the word calm. Focus on the word joy. And you can just start to repeat that word, or visualize that word, or what would it feel like to feel peace in this moment. So just focusing on the word. Again, I do a lot of work with positive repatterning when working with clients. I never end a session without positive repatterning and adding this positive energy in. But you can do it yourself just by stopping and thinking, okay, if I'm in a state of anxiety, I'm going to focus on the word calm. I want to focus in on joy, that type of thing. Okay. And then number 6, you can move this into affirmation energies. I would have affirmations written out for yourself in advance if you are in this state. Again, when you're in that stressful place, sometimes it's hard to, again, unless you're doing this, you're not thinking, you want to have access to what are the tools that can help me, right? So think about simple affirmations, and then there's a lot of complex ones. I help people write and say affirmations all the time, and that are personalized to their life and their situation. So depending on why you're in this fight or flight response, certain affirmations might be more powerful for you than others. And so there's a right and wrong way to positively affirm and use words in a way that can really instantly bring you back to like a calm, healthy, rest and digest type of state. So just something as simple as I welcome and accept peace. I welcome and accept peace. Okay. Or peace begins with me, right? You can just focus in on that. I am calm, or I am becoming calm if you don't feel calm. Okay, you can change that a little. I am safe is a powerful affirmation. When your hormones are out of state, your subconscious is feeling like you are not in a safe place. Your nervous system is on high alert, and you need your nervous system to understand that you are safe. And so you can say, I am safe. Right? If something happened and you weren't safe for a moment and now you are, tell your body you're safe. Then give yourself a hug. There's a lot of soothing things you can do, but start with intentionally telling your body, I'm safe. I am now safe. I am safe now. Okay, however it works for you, but start telling yourself that you're safe. These are powerful ways to bring you back into this healthy place. Okay, the next thing is deep abdominal breathing. So a lot of times we'll be breathing from our chest, right? When we're in a nervous panic mode, right? So if you can breathe into your diaphragm and focus your breath that way, it's a powerful way to help your nervous system. So one way to do that is to put your hand on your chest and a hand on your stomach. And then when you breathe in, it's almost like you want your hand on your chest to stay still and you want your hand on your stomach to go outward. So you can kind of guide your breath into your diaphragm as you breathe out, and then you breathe in. So your abdominals, sorry, your abdominals. I was saying the wrong thing. So just breathe in and let your stomach go out, and then breathe out and it goes in, and feel that in your stomach as your body's going out and in. Okay, that deep abdominal breathing. Okay, so all right. So hopefully, are these all helping? Yes. Oh, your song is Thunder. Nice. Okay, good. All right, awesome. I love it. Who else has got a good song? Throw it in the chat. We should. How many of us have an actual playlist as opposed to like one song, right? We have a playlist of good stuff. I recommend it. All right. Yes, Jamie does. Awesome. Okay, so we've got a couple more here. If you can, go spend time in nature. Okay, so important. Spend time in nature. One of the quickest ways to experience nature, okay, just an immediate quick way. It could be winter, could be summer, doesn't matter the season, is to go outside. And if you're like me and you have glasses, take your glasses off, close your eyes, and gaze towards the sun. Please do not look directly at the sun. Okay? Close your eyes and just put your face at the sun and gaze at the sun. Even if it's cloudy, you can figure out where the sun is. Okay? And go outside and just gaze towards the sun. Take your glasses off, and that's one of the quickest ways that you are telling your body that you are outside in nature. Okay. The other thing you can do is go outside and take your socks and shoes off and put your feet on the ground and ground your body to the earth and let your body experience physically the touch of the earth. But again, to just immediately calm your nervous system down, a very fast way is just to go outside and just gaze at the sun, okay? With your eyes closed. Unless it's like sunrise or sunset, the Earth's atmosphere will kind of do that protection for you. But gazing at the sun is very, very beneficial for your body, okay? And again, you'll start to feel yourself, just like you can feel yourself in a state of anxiety. You can feel yourself move to a state of calm, and you'll see how quickly that can support you. Okay, so the next thing is movement, okay? Gentle movements. So gentle yoga can be beneficial. Qigong is really beneficial. Walking, not power walking, but just walking slowly, can all be positive movement things that can benefit you. I want to share two movements with you that, again, this is all about solutions, right, that we can implement. So do these with me and practice them so you know that you can do them on your own at a time when you need it. Now, both of these can be done sitting or standing, okay? So camera-wise, it's probably easier for me to show you sitting. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Okay, so hopefully I'm a little bigger on the screen. So, okay, so sitting or standing, you can do these. So the first one I want to do, it's a stretching exercise called Connecting Heaven and Earth. And you start, again, you can stand or sit. I usually do this one standing. I absolutely do this first thing in the morning, but I also do it throughout the day And so it's called Connecting Heaven and Earth. And you just want to just try and focus in on a relaxed breathing as best you can. And you just kind of bring your hands together in a prayer position in the center of your chest. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put one arm up and one arm down, and you're going to keep the palms of your hands in this flexed position. So you're going to shoot one arm up and one arm down and look up at the arm that's faced towards heaven. And so you're almost pushing your palms towards the sky and towards the earth. And just look up, and you want to breathe as you're stretching out. And then on your exhale, just come back down to center. And then you want to switch sides. And you want to stretch up and just breathe. And then breathe out when you are coming back to center. And then just do that as many times as feels good to you. And that's called Connecting Heaven and Earth. So hopefully that is a good, beneficial one. Yes. Okay. Jody likes it. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So the next one is a centering exercise. This can help when you are needing to focus on something. It can help center your energy. If you're scattered, this is a great way to just come back and focus. And so again, you need to think to do it. So that's why I wanted you to have that screenshot. If I haven't told you to screenshot that other page enough, I'll put it up one more time. Okay, so with this centering exercise, again, you can do this standing or sitting. So right now, sitting, you're going to put your palms upward on your lap. If you're standing, just down at your side is fine. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one arm and you're going to raise it over your head, and you're going to breathe in when you reach your hand up. And then when you're out breath, you're just going to bring it right down the center line of your body and then put it back in your lap. And then you're going to use the other arm and just reach up and bring it down the center line of your body and back in your lap. So just again, continue to do that. Nice and gentle. A couple of times. And just allow your breathing to come to normal. You can have your eyes open, your eyes shut, whatever works for you with that one. And that's called a centering exercise. So is that helpful? All right. Let me go back here. Jamie, good. You like that one? Okay, perfect. So awesome. Okay, let me go back to my slides here. Okay, so those are my top 9 suggestions of things that you can do as solutions to help guide you from the sympathetic nervous system reaction into a more parasympathetic nervous system reaction. And this is all moving the energy in your body, the energy in your mind, the energy of your spirit, the energy of your thoughts and emotions. You are your own energy healer. And so these are things that I want you to keep as tools for you to support yourself. If you know that especially if you're starting your journey, if you're here at this event and you're watching the replay of this, you're looking for healing, you're looking for solutions. These are little things that you can do, but I absolutely encourage you to work with one or multiple practitioners here as part of this community. Join the Alternative Healthcare Solutions community. You have access to all of us practitioners. There's incredible products in the expo area that you can use to really just be on a journey of healing. Know that you're not alone. Know that there is an incredible community here to help you, whether that is products in the expo area, whether it is these other practitioners. Watch all of these replays from this event, but utilize these little tools, but also know that it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to have coaches supporting and guiding you. I could not have done this on my own by reading the internet and Googling things. I needed somebody who could read my labs. I needed somebody who could encourage me, just to be a cheerleader for me. I needed someone who could give me strategies that I could also talk with and say, okay, this didn't work for me. This did. This is where I'm at. Having that community and that support is so important when you're on a healing journey, and that encouragement. So definitely utilize this community to guide and support you. And if you're someone who wants to learn more about working with me and more about energy healing, these are the ways that I can help support you. And this is my website. My website is rebalancewithkate.com. You can schedule a free discovery consultation at that site. But ways you can work with me is through energy healing sessions that I offer. These sessions can release suppressed emotions, also known as trapped emotions, release trauma energy. We can help focus the session on stopping an unhealthy stress response. We always do positive repatterning and every session to support you. So having an energy healing session really dives into what's unknown, the energies that you have suppressed and trapped in and around your body that you may or may not have any idea that's there. We'll discover if you have just emotions that are trapped or if you have trauma that is trapped. We're going to discover if you maybe even have a trauma wall that could be disrupting your ability to heal. But our whole goal with an energy healing session is to not only release, but also positively repattern and to help you activate a healing recovery response. Okay. I also, working with me can look like sound and frequency healing. Again, I use the AO scan. Something I did not mention earlier, it was on the slide, said AO MindSync. AO MindSync is a great way to support you with those affirmations. So that's something that I didn't mention earlier, which I guess I'm mentioning here now under the affirmations section. So you can I customize affirmations for my clients. So I can create affirmations to support your self-talk and then create an AO MindSync recording of your voice where you would speak this MindSync out loud in your voice. And it uses something called binaural beats, which essentially helps get past your conscious thinking brain into your subconscious. Okay, so it's really going to lower your brainwave state. It's going to activate that parasympathetic nervous system through this affirmation MindSync. And so I can support you again with energy healing sessions, with sound and frequency music, and then the affirmations. And sometimes affirmations is all you need to support your healing. But I do personally know how hard it is to say something positive when you're in a state of stress. And so that's why the technology with the MindSync is so beneficial, because all you have to do is put headphones on and listen, and you'll hear your own voice affirming these positive affirmations. And so I'd love to support you with creating those affirmations. So if you haven't taken a screenshot of my website here, please do that. Go to rebalancewithkate.com and book a discovery consultation. And we can discuss whether you need an energy healing session, some inner voice music and sound support, or whether you need an affirmation support with MindSync. So hopefully you found this helpful. I really enjoyed being with you today. If you do have questions, feel free and reach out. I am here to support and help and guide you. We have some incredible workshops coming up, as well as definitely check out the expo area. Click those links and reach out to the practitioners in the expo area as well, to support you, because there's incredible tools that can guide your healing. So thank you so much for watching today, and I'll look forward to connecting with you in the future. Have a great day, everyone.